Welcome to the Sowing Seed Podcast. One guy's thoughts on family, faith, farming, and financial freedom. Now, here's your host, a man who knows a thing or two about, a thing or two, Matt Miller.
I was listening to Gary Vaynerchuk the other day, and he made a comment along the lines of, it's not the skill, it's the mindset that matters. And man, I could not agree more. Now, some of you guys are probably wondering, okay, Matt, that guy has a potty mouth. Why are you, as a believer, listening? Well, here's the thing, guys. I don't talk that way. I don't ascribe to that. But I got to be honest, the guy is brilliant. And he has fruit on the tree when it comes to business and success in business. And the insights he has on business culture today, on social media, on the direction that technology is taking us as a society. If you're willing to listen in to what he's doing and just ignore the language, I believe it has the ability to set many of us that are willing to do the work up for success in a way that we never imagined possible. Anyway, back to it's not the skill, it's the mindset. Ultimately, you and I can learn and teach ourselves just about anything that we could possibly want today with the internet, with Google, etc. And whether it be growing a garden, whether it be raising chickens, whether it be starting a business or growing a business, whether it be vending, which is what, our business was started on 13 or so years ago and was what allowed me to walk away from my corporate career. None of those things are rocket science. Once you figure it out, you figured it out. So what separates those that are long-termers, those that are ultimately successful, from those who don't or who aren't? And it really comes down to mindset. It comes down to thought process. It comes down to the willingness to do the work and to stay around the heat to continue to grow and change and flourish. It's overcoming the disappointments mentally. It's overcoming the drudgery of oftentimes mundane things to keep your head in the game so that you can go out and do it again tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day in this marathon that we call life. I'll be honest with you, I'm looking down the hill at the garden right now, and there's weeds everywhere. It's the 28th or 29th of November, 2017. I've got 3+ months before we start planting anything in the garden again. And I realize right now that I'm going to have to weed every single one of those beds that I want to grow in this next season. And I see all that work right now, and I don't want any part of it because I just got done, it seems like, with harvesting out of the garden this summer and then, of course, the fall. And I just need a break physically, mentally, etc. So that task right now is daunting. And quite honestly, I'm not going to get in the middle of it here for a while because anything I do, there will be some growth here during the winter months, whether it be above or below ground. So I'm better off to wait till a bit closer to planting time. But here's the mental hurdle. At some point in time, I'm going to have to be willing to take those weeds head on in order to produce the garden that I know my family needs and wants this next year, that we plant in the spring and then we harvest from all summer long. It's the thought process. It's the mindset. And if you're not able or willing to overcome that thought process and mindset, you'll be significantly hampered in all that you do. I'll tell you an area right now that I still struggle with all the time, and I'm failing at, especially in the last couple of months, big time. It's when it comes to exercise. I know I need to do it. I know I need to lose some weight, even though I've lost a bunch here in the last year. I'm still nowhere near where I need to be, but it's easier for me to find something else to do that I can justify because it's for my business or it's because it's this or that. And it's a lot more comfortable to sit at a desk or to lay on a couch or whatever than it is to have to force myself to exert myself with my rowing machine or with my dumbbells. That's a mindset that I'm struggling with. And we all have that, but realize it's those that overcome that. It's those that get control over their mindset. It's those that know themselves and what their weaknesses are and find ways to compensate that ultimately accomplish what it is that they want to accomplish. Some of the things that I do to help me get further along, obviously listening to podcasts. I'm an avid listener, and pretty much every time I get in the car today, I've got a podcast on, especially when I'm by myself. I read lots of books, either on Audible or physically reading when I have time. I attend conferences on a regular basis. I try to attend at least a couple a year, where I can get myself around like-minded people that are going to make me better and that are going to challenge me and challenge my mindset and my thought process. I hired a coach, actually multiple coaches over the last several years between Aaron Walker and his life and business coaching, Jeff McMahon of Total Body Construction as a virtual trainer to help me with my exercise, my buddy Scott Hooper, who helps provide guidance and insights on the spiritual side of things, etc. So know who you are, know what you need to continue to grow your mindset, and learn the skills you need to learn, but then put most of your focus and attention on thought process and on growing your mind, and a lot of the rest will take care of itself.
Thanks for listening. Check out our website, sowingseed.net, the Sowing Seed channel on YouTube, and if you got something out of today's podcast, give us a 5-star review on your podcast player of choice. Until next time, go plant the seed you need to succeed.